Hey everybody, this is Deborah. Today I am at a quilt retreat in Alanson, Michigan at the Crooked River Lodge. While I was here, I thought I'd just give you a short video on some of the things that I take to quilt camp. I'm also going to link a packing list for the next time you go to a quilt retreat or class of lots of things, to a good checklist on exactly what you need to bring when you come to camp. So I just got a few things here that I'm going to show you. First of all, I'll show you the one that's kind of messy, but I'll show it to you. This is my Quilt Caddy. Now I've showed these before on my website and you've seen these. I stuffed this full. I love this thing. This sits in front of my sewing machine when I'm at home, and when I come to camp, I grab it, I put it down into a big bag, and then put stuff on top of it. When I get to camp, I put it out and I've got everything that I need for sewing. So some of the essentials that I have, I like to always take a lot of my tools, because you never know when something's going to go strangely wrong with your machine. So I have a folder that I use, and it has everything I need as far as I've got a ripper, three screwdrivers in different sizes that I might need. I've got little brushes for brushing out the case of the bobbin area of my sewing machine. I have a purple thing. These are really nice. These act as a stiletto, and they also act as a way to measure your 1/4 inch. Let's see if I can put it there where you can see it. Measure your 1/4 inch seams. This is a really nice tool. If you have any questions about these things, put it in the comments and I can give you more information. Another screwdriver. I've got 2 white marking pencils because if I do any marking of quilts for quilting. I have a small ruler. This is fantastic for checking my 1/4 inch seams on my sewing machine as I'm sewing. I have one of the disappearing pens. This is one of my favorites. This is the disappearing pen that when you mark with it, it is a purple pen, very fine point. It goes away after time. So if I use that pen on something, and if I don't want to wash that project, then this will disappear in a matter of hours. The company tells you it disappears within a day or two, but this one is from Sewline, disappears within a few hours. But that's nice to have all the different types of marking pencils that you like, and I have several here. I have one that's more of a chalk base, it's called the Ultimate Ultimate Marking Pencil, and a regular pen, just because I never know where I'm going to be and I need to take some notes. I always take a notebook in my little box here. So this is cute. I picked this sewing up recently at a quilt shop, and it's just a nice, I always keep it in here because it's just a nice place if you want to trade emails with people, you want quick notes you need to remind yourself, stick in your pocket. It's just nice and handy to have. A list of things you want to go get at the quilt shop, nice to have. Next thing I'm going to show you, I always have my iron. I always have my mini handy iron. I always take this because it's small, it gets nice and hot, I can put it next to me, because when I'm at my quilt retreats, I don't have a lot of room to sew. I usually have about a 5-foot space, most of us will have when we're at a class or retreat, and I can take a small ironing pad with my ergonomic iron, and then I have that for pressing as I'm piecing and as I'm working on whatever the class is about. So that's really nice to have. This is one I've been testing out and I'm really liking, and it is called, it's by Alex Anderson, and it is a tool for multi purposes. So first of all, it of course has a stiletto, again a nice stiletto for pushing your fabric through your sewing machine, so that if it's you get close to the needle, it's better to have this there than your finger. This side is for pressing seams, finger pressing seams, or just pressing them with this flat edge of the tool. So that's really nice when you're paper piecing. This is nice to use, but even just when you're doing piecing, rather than press each piece, you can sometimes just use this to press that seam so you can get the next seam put on there. The other thing that's super fun, you open it up, so that end opens up, and you've got a ripper. Now, I can't tell you how many times people around me have forgotten their rippers. And yes, we always end up needing rippers because that just happens in quilting. So this one I always have with me. I always have a couple actually. This end, I'll open up the stiletto end, and this is an awl. That is a very sharp pointed awl. Now honestly, I haven't used the awl for anything yet, so if you can tell me what you use the awl for, I'm all ears, because I like to hear from you and find out what tools you like and how you use them. But again, this is by Alex Anderson. This is a fantastic tool, and it's all made of wood. Great to have going to class. This is my magnetic wand, because if I drop pins, I'm able to just reach down next to me, pick them up. They just jump right onto the green wand or next to my sewing machine. It's just nice to have that because I don't want to drop pins when we have so many people who are walking through the area. So this is really handy to have and be able to find those pins quickly. Speaking of pins, I like to take pins that are in a container because that way I can throw them right into my caddy and I don't have to worry about them poking. If I put a pin cushion, I could put a pin cushion from home, but then the pins are all over the place and some of them are going to fall out and go to the bottom of the caddy. This is nice to have. They come in a case. These are some of the ones with silicone on the pin itself, and so you can iron on that silicone. These are really cool pins, but any pins I would put into a case. I always have in there a spool of cotton neutral colored thread, because there are times when you go to work on a project you've forgotten that color, and you can get away sometimes with just a neutral instead. Or if I run out of anything and I didn't realize I was going to, this saves me a few times so I don't have to go out to a store, if there's even one local close to your retreat. I always have my scissors right in here, and these are the two sizes I like. I also take a smaller one, but that's when it's in my project bag right now. But these will get me through everything. The larger one for yardage cutting if I need to, and this medium size is just great for all kinds of snipping, because it's just right, a nice point. You can snip real close on things. So I like to take this because it's really all-purpose. Everything that I bring has to really do its job. Always take a fan. I always take a fan because if you're in a room, everybody needs a different temperature. Some people will say it's cold, so they put up the heat. I'm always hot. So I have this fan here, and it's just nice to have it. You'd be surprised how that makes life so much better if it's a little too hot in the room. You can get these at a dollar store. Those are great. Extra machine needles. Make sure you take extra needles. You may never have broken a needle in months, and then it's going to be at quilt camp you're going to break one. Or someone else will, and it's always nice to help each other. So I always have these. I stick them in here. I leave them in here. All these things stay in here. Breath mints. I always take breath mints because everybody's drinking coffee. I'm drinking coffee, and I'm close to people, and just so I'm not offending anybody when we're talking, have coffee breath. Breath mints are nice to have. And then last but not least, that I've got to show you today, is I take a microfiber cloth. This is one that says girlfriends on it, and that's fun. But I can use this, you can use these for wiping down my sewing machine, because I have a featherweight, and that's what I travel with, and those things get so dusty so quickly because you've got fibers flying around. And so it's nice to wipe down my machine. Also, it works for my glasses, and it works for my iPhone screen, and if I take an iPad with me, same thing. Nice, all-purpose, can use it for a lot of things. So all of those things are just a few of the items that I always take with me to retreats. And so ask any questions if you have any, and I hope you have fun at your next class or retreat.